Hey ladies, thanks for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mitzi and I'm a paper girlie, and if you're a returner, well, welcome back. Okay, gals, today we're talking about intimacy. And goodness gracious, you might be thinking, Mitzi, you're going to come on here and talk about, your sex life or what are we doing here? Well, girls, to me, intimacy and sex are two different things. Two different things, and they are not equal. One is about, intimacy, and the other is about sex. And, I'm totally transparent here. I told you what I was going to talk about. Today I'm talking about intimacy because tomorrow I'm going to be talking about sex. Not in a weird, creepy way, but just in a way that we need to talk about it. So, we are talking about intimacy today. So let's get right to the quote. So as per usual, I got my notebook. And the quote for today about intimacy is by the author Richard Bach. And this is what he says. The opposite of loneliness is not togetherness, it's intimacy. Okay, so what is intimacy? If we're going to be real defined about that, we're talking about intimacy today. We're not talking about it in the sexual way. Well, then let's just do a real quick definition, okay? Intimacy is fundamentally about vulnerability, trust, and being fully known by another person, often described as into me see. It goes beyond physical closeness to include deep emotional connection, shared silence, and the courage to remove personal masks. So that is a definition of intimacy. So gals, we're going to get straight to the prompts today. We're going to get straight to the prompts for the gals that just want the intro and the prompts. And I have three. I have three again today. However, I have them in just two different themes. So the first theme is about emotional intimacy. And the first prompt is, what does emotional intimacy mean to me? And how can I create a safe space for it? So that is the first prompt. And then the second prompt in this, theme of emotional intimacy is, what is a boundary I need to set or share to feel closer to you? And that you can be a romantic relationship, or that you can be a platonic relationship, just a friendship. So that is the second prompt. And then the third prompt falls under growth and vulnerability. And that prompt is, what have I tolerated in past relationships that I no longer have space for? And again, that can be a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship, because I know that for me, I have had to deal with setting boundaries so that I can have positive relationships. Okay, so if you just wanted the prompts and a little bit of the introduction, the quote, the definition, then there you go. Go have a great day, and hopefully we will see you back here tomorrow. And if you're new to my channel, then please, I would love it if you would like and subscribe so that you can easily come and find me and follow along the rest of this Girlfriend Guide to Journaling series. Okay, so the rest of you gals, we know what time it is. It is story time. Okay, ladies, well, one of the reasons why I kept the very beginning of this, the intro, pretty short and sweet is because I do have some thoughts on this. Some thoughts that, I'll share with you gals that are still here with me. And, intimacy, it is a big one, another big one, but it can be a really positive thing in our lives. And I think that when we're young, we have different definitions of what that means to us, and what our goals are in finding that intimacy. When we're young, we are just looking for general friendship of belonging, being part of a pack, being part of a community. And goodness gracious, we all know that I'm all about community. But if we want to even bring that deeper, as we get older, we are looking for that in partnership. And a lot of us, like I said before, if you are new to my channel, then you'll have to go back and watch some of the other videos. But if you've been along this whole journey in this Girlfriend's Guide to Journaling, then you know my backstory. And you know my backstory in wanting connection. And you know my backstory in how I did not find that in my first marriage. But did I find that in my second marriage? Yes, I have. I have, because I went into this relationship really making it a priority. Making it a priority because that is what I have discovered in my life that is really, really so important, is the intimacy that I feel with not only a partner, but also just in general in my life, with the relationships that I have, with the people that I have relationships with. And that is, well, like they said before, that, let me look down here, that idea of emotional connection, shared silence, and the courage to remove personal masks. So that is just really, really important to me. And not only is that important to me in my relationship, my marriage, but is also very important to me in my friendships, in my, platonic relationships. Because, girls, I'm 54 years old. I'm only wanting to spend my energy, especially my emotional energy, in relationships that are intimate. Now, for the whole backstory on me and Mr. Paper, you're going to have to go back and watch another video on that, because I'm not going to go through all of that. However, I will just reiterate here that we started our relationship, is it 13, 14 years ago? We renewed our relationship because we did meet each other when we were 11 and 12 initially. But we restarted fresh our relationship about 14 years ago, and we did that through a long distance relationship. At the time, I was still living out in Wisconsin, and he was here, in the Seattle metro area. And so we did it all long distance. We did it long distance for about 2 years before I moved out here. Moved out here with my children, or with our children, and now to start fresh and begin this life that is, oh my goodness, just so incredible. But yeah, we started long distance, and that is where we built such a great, intimate relationship. Because we all know, gals, we all know that I got burnt. I got burnt the first time around, not having an intimate relationship with my partner, with my first husband. And so that was really, really important to me the second time around. If I was going to allow myself to be vulnerable, to be seen, then I had to have that as the foundation, a strong foundation of any relationship that I was going to be in the future. And gals, full transparency, I never imagined that I would get remarried. I did not, that was not on the books for me. I had said, no, not going to go down that path again. However, it was because Neil put in the work, put in the time to make me be able to feel like I was just seen. I was seen as me. I was accepted as me. That allowed me to come to a place where I felt not only comfortable, but that I really wanted to marry Mr. Paper. So, how did we do that? We did that through talking. We did that through talking because, goodness, I was 2,000 miles away. That is all we had. I've said it before here. Mr. Paper works long hours. He works a lot. And so he did not have time to be taking time off of work to come and visit me. Yes, he did. But goodness gracious, full honesty here, he only came out one time. He came out one time to visit me before I moved out to Seattle. And does that sound a little bit crazy? Yeah, it does sound a little crazy. But because we knew each other back before this time, I knew that he wasn't a crazy person. So for me, that is all I needed for me to really make that leap of faith to come out here. because, well, because I felt like I knew him. I felt like I really, really knew him, because we would spend hours every single day just talking, just communicating, without any physicality between us. So that's all we had. And that is really where intimacy is built. It is built off of just communication between two people. And that's why intimacy isn't just about romantic relationships. It is about any relationship. And girls, as I've gotten older, and I touched on this before, as I've gotten older, I have realized that the only relationships that I am going to really put my energy into is relationships that are meaningful to me. Meaningful to me in the aspect that I really feel seen. And goodness, that's why, I mean, yes, we have that whole community over on Facebook. And gals, if you're new here to my channel, this is the first time that you're seeing me, then I just want you to know that we have a whole community over on Facebook of women of a certain age that enjoy journaling and crafting and stickers and, you know, all that fun stuff over there. So please come and join us over there if that sounds like something interesting to you. There is a link down in the description that will pop you over. You answer a couple questions, and then the old Facebook will just pop you through over there. We have a really good time over there. But yeah, so we have that whole community over there. And, you know, goodness gracious, some of you gals are on there all the time. You're on there all of the time. And as the days go on, I am feeling like I am starting to really get to know you, not only because you're on there all the time, but because you email me, and we're starting to have personal connection, personal communication, where just that communication makes me feel like, you know what? Some of these ladies are ladies that I feel like I could really have a intimate friendship with. And that's one of the reasons why I just love that community over there. Because girls, do we have the same friends that we had in high school? Well, I guess I do. I do. But some of my friends that I had in high school, and along the way during life, I am not necessarily friends with them anymore, because as I have gotten older, I have realized that for me, and this is just for me, but for me, I really need friendships where I feel like it's a give and take, that we're both giving as much as we're taking, and sometimes that doesn't happen. And for me, I need that. I need that for me. And so I've had to kind of set some boundaries. And sometimes you need to do that. I mean, one of the prompts today is about boundaries. And sometimes you need to do that to protect your heart, because when it comes to our emotions, as we get older, as we shift focus onto things that really are important, I think at this point in our lives, our relationships play a really pivotal and important part of our lives. And so for me, the relationships, the friendships that I have, that I need to be within that set of boundaries that I have set out for myself, so that I can really get out of those friendships what I need. So I talked about me and Mr. Paper. I talked about just platonic, girlfriends, friendship relationships. Well, now, excuse me, now I want to talk about how that dynamic changes. And I just said how that changes as we get older as friendships. In friendships, let's talk about how that changes in relationships. Because girls, I know that a lot of you gals that are here on my channel are married. And yeah, things change. Things change in our marriages. Things change in our relationships. And granted, me and Mr. Paper have only been married, 11 years? It'll be 12 years this August, or not August, goodness, I don't even know when I got married, September, that we will have been married. But even in that amount of time, has our relationship changed? Yes, it has. And have my needs changed? Yes, they have. Because I have grown. I have grown into this new woman that I am becoming. And whether I want to say that I've grown because, well, just I've grown, or whether I've grown because I'm going through this whole transitional period of menopause, I don't know. I'm going to say a little bit of both. And goodness gracious, where do things go from here? I'm going to talk a little bit about it tomorrow, but I just want to touch base on it here. I think that things change because our priorities change. Our priorities change. And so for me, goodness gracious, what I need in my relationship with Mr. Paper, is that I need to know that he understands that I am growing, that I am changing, and he has to kind of morph to accept the woman that I'm changing into. And that, again, takes communication. It takes communication, and this time it's not quite as easy. It is not quite as easy because, well, we live together. We see each other every single day. We're in kind of this whole scheduled life of, we get up in the morning, he goes to work, I go to work or do my thing. And goodness, by the time that he gets home, it's dinner time, it's, after work, things that he has to do, it's a little bit of downtime, and then it's to bed. And so when are we supposed to have these conversations that are supposed to keep us, in that intimate space, that space of communication, that space of I see you, you see me, we have conversations, I feel like I am seen. Because to me, that is what I need. I need to feel that I am seen. I mean, the good, the bad, whatever part of it, I need you to feel like you see me. You see me, you hear my stories, you support me if I have issues. I need that. And to me, that is what intimacy is all about. And that's why it's so important to me, because all the other little things, my life, I'm sitting in a corner with you ladies. I'm sitting in a corner talking to a screen. My life is not that exciting. It is not exciting on a daily basis, but I need you to see, whatever I'm doing, and to be excited about that, to be supportive of that, to feel like, goodness gracious, we're doing this together, even if we are doing things apart. And so that's why, swing it all back around to why we were able to build this, is because for those years while we were apart, we were super, super together because we were having conversations. We were invested in each other's lives. I see you. I value who you are. You see me. You value who I am. And together we move forward valuing each other. So that is what I have to say about intimacy today. Okay, so let's get back to the prompts, and then let's get on our way. Okay, so the prompts for the day, the first one is under the heading of emotional intimacy. What does emotional intimacy mean to me, and how can I create a safe space for it? I had to create a safe space for myself in order to be able to open up to Mr. Paper, open up to you gals in my community. I had to create a safe space where I felt that I could do that. And then the second one is, what is a boundary I need to set or share to feel closer to you? So, goodness gracious, sometimes Mr. Paper says to me, Mitzi, you sound like, you're telling these girls, you're bossing people around. I'm not bossing people around. I'm just setting my boundaries. I'm just putting it out there so that, you gals that are new to my life, what my expectations are. And then, those are my boundaries. Yes, those are my boundaries. And if you accept that and can come at me with those boundaries that I have set in place for myself, then goodness, so many of you have reached out to me already, and I feel respected, I feel seen. And by having that, I am able to open myself up to be vulnerable in communication with you, and vice versa, you with me. And we are starting to really build some intimate relationships. And then the last one is under the heading of growth and vulnerability. And that prompt is, what have I tolerated in past relationships that I no longer have space for? And girls, that's one that might give you some thoughts, because like I said before, we are changing. And part of that change is saying, what did I take in, or what did I accept, or what was okay with me in the past that may not be okay with me now? And how can I communicate that to either my partner or to my friend in order to move forward where I can be authentically myself, I can be accepted for the changes in the woman that I am now, so that we can have a great intimate relationship moving forward. Okay, so the quote that I have to finish this all off comes from a gal named Patricia Love. And even though I'm talking about all this communication, at the end of the day, it's that feeling that we get, that feeling in silence that we get when we're with somebody, whether that is a friend or whether that is a partner, that feeling that we get of peace in our soul that makes us know that, goodness gracious, this person sees me, this person understands me, this person accepts me just as I am. And so that quote from Patricia Love is, the deepest moments of intimacy occur when you're not talking. Okay, gals, that's what I have to say today. Again, if you're new to my channel and this has been interesting or eye-opening or uplifting in any way, I hope that you will like and subscribe and come back and join us again tomorrow. We do this Monday through Friday, where we have different topics and we have journal prompts, because girls, I am here all about the journaling. That is our time to take for ourselves, to just think about the things that we want to think about, reflect on the things that we need to reflect on or we want to reflect on, in order for us to then close the book and start fresh again tomorrow. So thank you for joining me today. Until next time, from one paper girlie to another.